This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association, your daily recap of the information that affects Iowa's farmers, producers, and consumers, right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning broadcast team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, and Mark Magnuson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Riley Smith.
Good day and welcome to Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Riley Smith. Today is Wednesday, November 6th of 2024. We're so glad you can join us for today's show. In today's episode, I have some coverage from Mark Magnuson as he visited with Robin Sampson of the Iowa Foundation for Agricultural Advancement. They have some funding for some ag scholarships, and that money came from the sale of the Pioneer Brock Purdy collaboration jerseys. And we'll have that conversation coming up later on in today's episode. Right now, let's hear a word from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association, and the Soy Checkoff.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
Welcome back to Ag Matters PM on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Riley Smith. If you've been tuning in to our social media channels as well as the website, you will have seen that Pioneer collaborated with Brock Purdy for some limited edition jerseys. They sold those off, and now some of that money is going to the Iowa Foundation for Agricultural Advancement for some ag scholarships. Mark Magnuson visits with Robin Sampson to learn more.
And we are learning about an exciting partnership between Pioneer, Brock Purdy, and the IFAA. And Robin, could you tell us please today what we're here to present as far as the money that is going to some students that are interested in agriculture?
Yeah, today we're excited that we've formed a Brock Purdy Grit Scholarship, that it will be a scholarship through the IFAA, the Foundation for Agriculture Advancement, and it'll be $16,000 total, but in $4,000 breakdowns to support kids in Iowa that are going into agriculture. And I just think it's so important that Brock Purdy from Iowa, Iowa State, College of Agriculture, supporting young people that are having a passion for agriculture, that we continue to help them, try to continue the legacy of everything that he's done for Iowa and what these kids can do in the future.
So was this an idea that Pioneer came to IFAA initially and floated this idea to you, or was it a partnership initially right away to say, hey, we could do something together? How did that work out?
Well, originally it was a Pioneer. It was a Pioneer idea, but Brock got to pick who he was going to give the funds to, so we are so blessed that he chose the IFAA and that Brock understands how important agriculture is for the state of Iowa and how important agriculture is for Iowa State University and how important it really is to help kids have a future in a very important industry.
So did he have a connection to IFAA before that at all, do you know, or was he just looking for what you said, getting students that are involved in agriculture a chance to get some scholarship money?
Well, IFAA and the university, or Iowa State University and Brock Purdy, I am sure it's a really small world in the state of Iowa, so coming together probably is not as much of a chance as you think, because agriculture is so important. It's a very small world. People know each other, and we're just excited we have that network.
And the students that have the chance to earn these scholarships, have all the scholarships already been awarded, or is that still to come?
So this scholarship will be awarded in 2025. We awarded scholarships this summer at the Iowa State Fair. If you're there on the last Saturday, we had a huge scholarship program on the Bill Riley stage where the donors and the scholarship recipients met each other, and then we treat them to a large picnic afterwards so they get to hang out with each other and learn about their donors, get to learn with the kids, and they get to hopefully form connections that help them continue to advance their opportunities in ag. This year we will start the scholarship program around the first of the year, and those scholarships again will be awarded next year at the Iowa State Fair.
And Robin, again, just thinking about how this all came together, it's really a win for everyone that's involved. I mean, it is something that it seems to fit seamlessly with kind of the end goal in mind of, like the scholarship, or like your organization says, advancing agriculture forward for students.
You know, and it's a passion of mine because as people in ag, you know, they are getting older, and I've been in agriculture for 40 years, and you're always wondering, like, what's the next step and what's the next generation going to look like? And you know, times are different, and boy, we want to really make sure that these kids have every opportunity to be as successful or more successful than their predecessors. And there's so many new things happen in agriculture. There is not a better time for young people to want to pursue a career in agriculture, and we just want to support that.
She is Robin Sampson with IFAA, my guest here today. Robin, thanks so much. Is there anything else you'd like to let our viewers, our listeners in the state of Iowa know about this exciting partnership?
If you're available to still get a Brock Purdy jersey, I'd still give it a shot.
They are pretty cool, and like Robin has mentioned, they were a hot ticket item for sure when they first came out, and everyone was excited about getting their hands on a Pioneer Brock Purdy jersey. Robin, thanks so much for the time. Appreciate it, and have a great rest of your week.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks again to Mark Magnuson for bringing us that conversation with Robin Sampson of the Iowa Foundation for Agricultural Advancement. Let's go ahead and take a look at the closing markets.
It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net.
At the end of another trading day in the ag marketplace, we're here with Kaden Sweeney of agmarket.net. First off, Kaden, what do we see going on in the grain markets today?
Yeah, plenty of green across the screen today, which is, pretty sharp contrast from where we, wanted to open this morning at the 7:45 pause. Corn and beans both were red, beans especially so, but had a nice turnaround. Corn with what's looking like maybe a technical breakout today above some resistance we've had, up 8 cents, and beans going to close about 20 off the lows as well in the green. So, pretty good Wednesday for sure.
So I had heard just rumblings about how the markets are maybe putting off reacting to potential a tariff situation. Is that kind of how the markets are looking right now?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's certainly a lot of information and news for the market to digest all at once, and overnight, as election results were coming in, they certainly sold off. And then all of a sudden, like we talked about right at the 8:30 open, the buyers came back and pushed the thing back higher. So I think the whole tariff situation as a whole is something that the market's going to want to digest over a time frame, not necessarily all in day one here, one day after the election. I think you're going to continue to see this thing kind of ebb and flow as we learn more about, what the future may hold.
And then, of course, we can't take a break this week. We've got the WASDE report coming out on Friday. Are we anticipating any major changes to the numbers this week?
I think especially on the corn side, you could see demand improve a bit, especially from the export side and whatnot. I don't expect too much yield alterations yet. I think you're going to, and of course, the December report's always, I shouldn't say always, but basically always just a reprint in November. So that January WASDE is basically when we always see the first real look at a yield number and generally the strong one there. So this November report, not one to sleep on, but at the same time, I don't think you're going to see any major changes until we get to January.
All right. And then looking at the livestock side of things, how did cattle and hogs trade today?
Yeah, I'm looking here, cattle higher on the day. Fat cattle up $1.68, live cattle up 63 cents. So continuing the strong move that they've had recently, hogs up $1 as well, continuing to after they've given back some of their recent gains, clawing back a bit today, hopefully finding some support there. So that hog market certainly has been hot lately. We're going to look for the 10-day and the 20-day moving average to catch here after, the last 3 days. We've given some of that back, and today's certainly a good first step in that.
And then, of course, we've been processing a little bit of what's going on in the livestock right now, especially on that demand side of things, like you mentioned. With that holiday demand period, have we already seen the purchasing that we would see for that demand situation, or is that potentially going to go on right now? I mean, I know we are pretty close to Thanksgiving, the start of that holiday season.
Yeah, in my opinion, the demand factor obviously certainly matters. I think it's probably a bit more of a supply market right now. Certainly everybody by this point knows the supply situation from the livestock market. I also think a lot of what you're seeing today is, stock markets making basically, if I'm not mistaken, making all-time highs here, one day post-election with the Dow just screaming. It's like the top 5, largest one-day move on record. So stock market screaming, certainly helping out the livestock side of things. Hopefully that will continue to be the case for both markets.
All right, Kaden, lots of great information today. For those of our listeners and viewers who would like to get in touch with agmarket.net, how can they do that?
Yeah, just go to our website, agmarket.net. Certainly for a lot of people, hopefully a large crop to market this year, and gonna require a pretty good marketing plan to do so. So be sure to get a hold of us. We're happy to help.
All right, Kaden, lots of great information as always, and we look forward to hearing more analysis soon.
Yeah, sounds good, man. Appreciate it.
That again was Kaden Sweeney of agmarket.net. We'll take a look at how the numbers close through the market window at iowaagnet.com. December corn up 7 3/4 at $4.26 1/4. January soybeans up 2 even at $10 and 3 3/4. December soybean meal down $1.10 at $2.9840. Soybean oil up $1.35 at $46.34. Chicago wheat up 3/4 cent at $5.73 1/4. Kansas City hard red wheat down 2 3/4 at $5.74 even. Minneapolis spring wheat down 5 even at $6.05 1/2. December oats up 1/2 cent at $3.91 3/4. On the Merc, December live cattle up 62 cents at $185.40. November feeders up $1.55 at $247.70. Lean hogs up $1 even at $82.12. December pork cutout went unchanged at $94.55. And November class 3 milk up a penny at $19.95. And that's been a check of the markets here on Ag Matters PM. That also brings us to the end of today's episode. You can find all of our content on our website at iowaagnet.com. Also follow us on social media at Facebook, X, LinkedIn, and TikTok, and find our video content as well as previous episodes of AM/PM on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to see when those videos go live. And check out as well our free morning, midday, and closing market podcasts, as well as the Iowa Ag Matters podcast and Pods of Potential. You can find those on our website, again, iowaagnet.com, or your favorite podcasting service at Podbean, Spotify, Apple, and Amazon. From the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network studios in Des Moines, I'm Riley Smith. On behalf of Mark Magnuson, Dustin Huffman, and Andy Peterson, we thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.